Have you ever watched someone's face shift from polite to radiant in a split second, like a lamp turning on, just because the topic hit their soul's frequency? That's the INFJ light up. It's subtle, real, and unforgettable. If you're an INFJ, or love one, you've probably seen those moments. Brighter eyes, softer jaw, an easy laugh, a whole body exhale. What causes it? It's rarely grand gestures. It's almost always little things, tiny sparks of meaning in an increasingly noisy world. Today we're diving into 12 of those sparks. We'll unpack what each one looks like, why it works, and how to invite more of that glow into daily life. Jamma 1. Deep, meaty conversations that skip the small talk. Small talk is social sunscreen. Useful, sometimes necessary, but nobody wants to drink it. INFJs endure it, but they don't live on it. Their light switches on when the conversation moves from, "What do you do?" to, "Why do you do it? What's the story you're writing with your life?" Ask about purpose, values, spirituality, the nature of love, the ethics of power, the patterns underneath people's choices. Watch their posture change. The shoulders relax, the voice warms, the eyes sharpen. They start connecting threads between ideas you didn't realize were related. History to psychology, myth to modern life. Time dissolves. They're not performing, they're arriving. And after the talk ends, they'll replay it with gratitude. You likely gave them a home for their mind for a few hours, and they'll remember the door you opened. 2. Being truly seen without having to audition. INFJs spend most days reading emotional weather, noticing micro-expressions, sensing tension, understanding what's unsaid. It's a relief of cosmic proportions when someone does a fraction of that for them. It's the friend who says, "You're quieter than usual. Want to talk or want space?" That tiny sentence is gospel to an INFJ. It means they don't have to translate their inner world into 100 explanations. It says, "I'm tuned to you." When that happens, the INFJ's face softens. They might deflect, "I'm fine," out of habit, but they'll feel a beautiful thaw inside. Being seen without performing is oxygen. It tells them they don't have to earn belonging. Ironically, that's when they bring their fullest, richest self to the table, because safety unlocks sincerity. 3 thoughtful, specific gestures that prove you were listening. Forget extravagant gifts. The INFJ heart lights up at precision, evidence you were present. You remembered they prefer jasmine tea over chamomile. You sent a podcast episode that connects to that book they mentioned last month. You saved a seat where the lighting is softer because bright fluorescents give them headaches. These aren't transactions. They're translations. I heard you, I saw you, I value you. The value isn't the tea, it's the care. For an INFJ who often feels like the quiet observer, this flips the script. They become the one noticed. That lands like warmth in the chest, and the glow lingers for days. 4. Nature that quiets the noise and retunes the soul. Take an INFJ to where the wind speaks softly and the horizon breathes. A pine trail after rain, a tide pool at low sun, a hillside with a big friendly sky. You'll see their entire nervous system unclench. Nature is order without control and intimacy without demand. Leaves flicker like a living metronome. Water repeats itself in waves that never bore. INFJs don't just see scenery, they meet meaning. Patterns in light and shadow mirror how they think, systems nested in systems. A simple walk can reset their internal instrument from frantic to tuned. Back in daily life, you'll notice their patience return, their intuition feel crisper, their humor come back online. It's not an escape, it's maintenance. 5. Creative outlets that let feelings speak in their native language. Inside an INFJ is a crowded room of images, impressions, and half-formed insights waiting for a shape. Art gives them a door. Whether it's writing, composing, painting, filmmaking, photography, crafting, or designing a perfectly intentional living space, creation organizes emotion into something that can be held. When the piece finally clicks, when the sentence lands or the chord progression unlocks the mood, they glow with a quiet, satisfied joy. If someone then receives the work with care, not just nice, but "this part made me feel understood," the INFJ lights up again, because the loop closed. Their inner world touched another human being. That's the win. 6. Making a real difference, especially one they can actually see, INFJs don't want credit, they want impact. They light up when their effort changes the temperature of a room, the trajectory of a person, or the tone of a team. It can be tiny, a volunteer shift where a nervous kid finally smiles, a colleague's tough day softened by your check-in, a friend who says, "That conversation helped me choose better." The glow here isn't pride, it's alignment. This is why I'm here. Without tangible impact, INFJs can feel like their energy evaporates into nothing. Show them the footprint they left. Because of you, this happened, and watch their spirit brighten with purpose. Mantra is 7. People who are allergic to fakery INFJs can sense performative energy the way a musician hears a sour note. Masks cost them energy, decoding motives, soft-pedaling truths, navigating egos. Place them with someone who is candid, kind, and consistent, and they relax like a cat in a sunbeam. Authenticity isn't oversharing, it's congruence. What you say matches what you do. In that space, the INFJ's humor surfaces, the playfulness returns, and their storytelling blossoms. They'll share flawed moments, not just curated highlights. They light up because authenticity is efficient. No energy wasted on pretense means more energy for meaning. On 8. Protected solitude that isn't treated like a crime. Alone time isn't a luxury for INFJs, it's a charger cable. When people respect that, no guilt trips, no "are you mad at me?" the relief is visible. They might journal, tidy their space, external order calms internal noise, read fiction that feels like a conversation, or sit in stillness. The light up here is quiet, a softened gaze, a slower pace, a deepening breath. And when they return, they show up brighter, funnier, more generous, because their well is refilled. Supporting their solitude is not losing them, it's getting the best of them. 9. Learning that widens the map of meaning. INFJs are wired for synthesis. Give them a new lens, attachment theory, mythic patterns, urban design, astronomy, and watch sparks fly as they connect it to everything else they know. They love the aha that reorders 10 old questions in one sweep. Their light shines when exploration becomes integration. This explains why I do that. This reframes that conflict. This gives language to that feeling. Then comes their favorite part. Sharing the distilled insight with someone they love. Not to lecture, but to include. Look at this beautiful connection I found. When you meet their enthusiasm, they practically glow. 10 micro moments of genuine connection. The blockbuster intimacy INFJs crave is often built from film clip moments. The shared smirk when an inside joke lands. The unhurried silence where being together is enough. The late-night confession that leaves both people tender and lighter. They light up when presence beats performance. They treasure texture, tone of voice, timing, the courage to say "me too," the safety to say "actually I disagree" without rupture. These moments prove that depth isn't rare everywhere. It's possible here, with you. When the world feels loud and shallow, that realization is a sunrise. On 11, order with a purpose. Spaces that support serenity. Many INFJs aren't minimalist for aesthetics, they're minimalist for sanity. When a room is arranged with intention, plants where the light loves them, a chair that invites reading, a desk that whispers focus, a scent that says exhale, their inside world mirrors the outside calm. They light up when they enter a space that's been prepared thoughtfully for a shared evening. Soft lighting, clutter tucked away, music with warmth, phones out of sight. Environments shape emotional outcomes. When the setting honors that truth, INFJs feel cared for before a single word is spoken. 12. Quiet accountability. Growth that feels safe, not shaming. Contrary to stereotypes, INFJs don't want to be coddled. They want to be challenged with care. Their light turns on when someone says, "I know you want better. How can I support that?" instead of, "Why aren't you better yet?" They respond to partnership, small goals, honest reflection, gentleness with relapse, celebrations for progress. Growth is a sacred project for INFJs. When another person becomes a respectful collaborator, holding mirrors, not magnifying glasses, the INFJ's hope brightens. They can risk new steps because the space is soft enough to land and strong enough to launch. You've probably noticed the through line across all 12: authenticity, intention, and depth. INFJs light up when life stops shouting and starts telling the truth. None of these sparks require lots of money or spectacle. They require attention, presence, and the courage to go a layer deeper than default. In a world that skims, the INFJ brightens where something lingers. You're not too much for wanting depth any more than a fish is too much for needing water. Your need for solitude isn't antisocial, it's responsible. Your dislike of games isn't rigidity, it's respect for time. Your hunger for learning isn't pretension, it's how your mind breathes. Notice the little things that light you up, then design your week to include them on purpose. Schedule the walk. Brew the tea you love. Curate your space. Send the coffee soon, text to that friend who thinks in paragraphs, not bullet points. Your joy is a compass, not a luxury. You don't have to solve them, please don't try. You can simply meet them where meaning lives. Ask a question with honest curiosity and zero agenda. Remember specifics. Offer choices that respect energy. Talk, walk, or quiet movie. Create pockets of peace in shared spaces. Give them credit for impacts you felt because they won't ask. When they need time alone, treat it like oxygen, not rejection. And when they share their art, receive it like a gift, because it is. It's helpful to name the opposite moves. Rapid-fire plans with zero recovery time, noisy environments with harsh lighting, performative socializing, chronic interruptions, just playing devil's advocate during vulnerable sharing, pressuring them to explain emotions on a timer, turning solitude into a guilt trial, and vague promises that never materialize. None of these are mortal sins. But if you're trying to nurture an INFJ's glow, treat them like sand in an hourglass. Flip to flow, not grind. INFJs lead with introverted intuition, ni, backed by extroverted feeling, fi. Translation: their minds look for underlying patterns and future trajectories while their hearts track the emotional field. They light up when ni gets high-quality input, depth, silence, pattern-rich learning, and Fei gets safe, sincere connection, authentic people, clear kindness, pro-social impact. Starve either and they dim. Feed both and you'll swear the room got brighter. 12 little things: deep talk, being seen, thoughtful detail, nature, creative flow, visible impact, authenticity, solitude, learning, micro-connection, intentional spaces and safe growth. Sound simple. They are. But simple doesn't mean small. For INFJs, these moments are structural, beams, not decorations. They hold up life. And when those beams are in place, the INFJ doesn't just smile, they shimmer. Their warmth spreads. The room feels kinder. People feel braver. Meaning sneaks back into ordinary minutes and decides to stay. If this resonates, consider it an invitation. If you're an INFJ, claim your sparks. If you love one, light the path. The world keeps getting louder. But you, together, can build spaces where truth doesn't have to shout to be heard. And if you want a place to start tonight, try this. Make tea, dim the lights, ask a question that matters, and leave enough silence after it for an honest answer to land. Watch for the eyes. When they brighten, you'll know you found one of the little things.